rapping. They gotta know that. Hey fam, welcome back to the community mic. It's me, Ari, as usual. And today I just really want to talk about the formula to effective change. I kind of briefly touched on this on my IG. If you guys follow me at your girl Ari, you'll see I went on a mini rant type of thing, but it's not really a rant, but I just wanted to get just an overall idea of how I feel out there. My little sister had texted me at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she was like, can you take me to go riot? And I'm like, I'm not for violence. I'm not for I'm for protesting, but we all know what the law is. We all know what our right is. It's peaceful protesting. So, my sister's only 15, and I'm not gonna put those ideas in her head, that reacting in violence and anger is the way, because it's not. So what I call this is the formula to effective change and inevitable success. It starts from within. And what I believe is that there's a formula. So first, you change your mind. It starts with your mindset. If you think differently throughout the days, I believe that it takes 21 days to form a habit. I heard that before from a previous employer, and I believe that. I put it to the test, and I believe it to be true. So it takes 21 days to form a habit. If you change your thought process for 21 days, take a month, think differently, your body will follow your mind. And that's proven because we control our actions. I'm controlling to use my hands right now. So if you change how you think, your body will follow your thoughts. And once you change your thought process, you change your actions, you inevitably change your life. And now you're walking in a different lifestyle. So if we think more positive thoughts, we'll have more positive actions. If we think more successful thoughts, we'll have more successful actions. And inevitably, we'll be walking in a positive, successful lifestyle. But I think this really goes hand in hand with racial injustice and just police brutality and things like that we see. Because we gotta change the way we approach this situation, you guys. We really got to. Personally, I went through some security training last year, and they train security officers the same way they train police officers, and I learned a lot in that training. The first thing I learned was probably the most important thing that really changed my ideology on law enforcement and authority is that they leave a lot of I can never say this word. They leave a lot of room for misinterpretation or personal interpretation when they're training police officers, I believe. Because they teach them that there's an order of force from less lethal to most lethal. But then they also turn around and say that if you feel threatened, use the most effective means of force. And we all know if you got a taser and you got a gun, we know what's most effective in a threat. And that leaves a lot of room for personal judgment. That leaves a lot of room for personal emotions and how you feel and how your beliefs are to get wrapped up in your judgment with your profession. And I feel that really goes hand in hand with why officers are so quick to draw. And as people, we have to understand that we are taught one thing and they are taught something else. We gotta educate ourselves. We always talk about educate yourself on your rights, educate yourself on what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, but we don't know what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And like I said, prior to my training, I didn't know that. I just thought officers out here drawing, why they shooting this and that, they got all these other methods and means of stopping somebody, why you keep shooting. But I didn't know that they were trained that way, honestly. So it's when we have to educate ourselves in not just what we're allowed to do, but what the law is allowed to do. so that way we can know how to really combat this, and we can know how to really effectively change this system. So it really all starts with our minds. And that's what I was telling my little sister too. It's like, it's a mind game, and they get us young. Yeah, we all know they get us young. My sister's 15. I heard about police brutality and injustices when I was in middle school. Like, they get us young. I've had teachers who treated me unfairly, and I knew it was because the color of my skin. I felt it. And the thing is, when you are racially profiled or discriminated upon, no matter what your race is, you feel it. You know the motive. There's no question about it. And I felt those things since I was in middle school. I've had teachers tell me that I'm less of. I've had teachers tell me that, I can't be and I won't be because I wasn't designed to be. Like, what? That can only stem from one motive. And they get us while we're young. We don't pay too much attention to it when we're young. We just think like, oh, they a hater or whatever. And then we grow up. And then we learn that they were telling us these things so that the more that we hear it, starts in our minds, the more that we hear it, the more we act it, the more we believe it, the more we walk in that. Just like how they did in slavery. They took people from where they belong, put them in a foreign land, and tell them something different from what they knew. The more they told them that, the more they followed that. It really starts within our minds. And I just really want everybody to understand. I really want everybody to grasp the concept of success and effective change starts from your mindset. You have to change the way we think. I feel like a lot of people also think that complying is a form of like demeaning yourself, and it's not. That's a strategic tactic, and if you're not compliant, like I seen this one video on YouTube, and it was like a riot. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest, and this one guy, he was just like spitting in the officer's face. He was talking shit. He was going in, going off, like all of the above. Of course he's black, officer's white, of course. And I was just looking like, and he had people riling him up and epping him in the background, like, yeah, what you gonna do? You can't do nothing, this and that. And the officer shot him. And, his family was just like, he didn't do anything, he didn't touch him. There was no reason to do that. He could have tased him. He could have, why did he have to? And it's like, honestly, they're taught that when they feel threatened, to use the most effective source of force that they have. And to you and I, spitting in my face don't threaten me, but words might not threaten us. But to somebody who's charged with animosity towards a specific group, somebody who has grown up to think that a specific group is less than them, all it takes is for those little bit of words. All it takes is for that one spit in my face, calling me out my name, saying F my mama this and this and that. That's all it takes for me to quick draw on you. So it's like we really got to understand that complying is not degrading ourselves. Complying is being strategic about it. We get pulled over all the time. We don't sit here and be like, what bothers me the most is when I see videos of black men or women getting pulled over and they don't want to wind the window down. And then they be like, oh, well, it's my right, it's my vehicle, I don't have to wind it. Like, dude, like, you making stuff more difficult. And it's like, yeah, it's our right, it's our property, we don't have to, but you have to understand how the officer, the law enforcement is thinking too. They're just coming to do their job, as anybody would be doing, coming to do their job. And if you sit here and you're non-compliant, you're argumentative, you're combative, now they're thinking they're at risk. And remember, they're taught to use the most effective way of force when in a threat. So you're coming off as a threatening situation. You're coming off as a threatening person, and then you're upset when they use force. Comply. Be more cooperative. It's not degrading yourself. It's not making you saying like you like the police, or you like law enforcement or whatever like that. You're not saying that. What you're doing is you're sparing your life. And at the end of the day, that's the reality of it. We're not blessed, we're not graced with the fact to be able to walk down the street and hey, and be comfortable and doing. No, we already know that we're in a different category. So you have to think smarter, being that you're in this different category. You have to think every day, when I come in contact with law enforcement, how can I spare my life? How can I see another day today? Then you have to instill these things in your children, in your brothers and sisters, in your family, your boys or your friends that's like, nah, forget 12 and this and that and that and that. Like, you have to tell them, like, calm down. It's like, yeah, we can think that way. Yeah, we can feel that way. But when we're in the presence of law enforcement, let's act accordingly. Like, seriously, let's act accordingly. And it's not you lessening yourself. It's not you degrading yourself, demeaning yourself. It's not you less of a man or woman or anything. It's you being smart. You being strategic. You being tactical. You letting them know, like, I don't care for you, but I respect you. And in that, and you have to, because that means that when you respect somebody, respect is owed back to you. And that's the one thing we always saying, that something is owed to us, but you have to give to be owed something. Like, that's the baseline, that's the bottom line. I be rapping, they gotta know that. But you give respect, and there's no reason in return you should not receive that same respect back. But if I come to you and I disrespect you, I can't expect you to respect me. And it's vice versa. If an officer is disrespectful to me or disrespectful to, my brother or whoever, I can't expect them to respect that person back, respect that officer back. But it has to be given to be received. Give the respect that you want back, so that way when the respect is not reciprocated, you got something one up on that. You got something that you can go and say, like, okay, I did everything right. I checked off, I was in the green. I was on point with everything I had to do. And your officer or your sergeant or whoever, your law enforcement, fell through. Because the main purpose of law enforcement is to protect the community. So if the community doesn't act like a threat, then they will be protected. And we all know that there's situations that fall through these loopholes, like, we know that. But in those cases, that's the reason why you can go to the higher up authority, you can go to the court system, and you can press charges against them, because they have no reason and no right. Part of that too is how we present ourselves as a people. We have to present ourselves as educated people, because we are educated people. We are smart people. We are chosen people. We are intelligent, higher up people. We have to present ourselves as what we tell ourselves in the mirror. Yeah, I just want to encourage everybody. Let everybody understand and let everybody know that, it starts in your mind. It's a mindset. It's a formula. We gotta get this formula thing going. It starts in your mind. Change your mindset. Change your actions. Change your lifestyle. And then inevitably you will have success. And, and it inevitably means something that is bound to happen. It cannot be undone or unwritten. Inevitable success is going to happen. If you follow this formula, it is going to come your way. So, love you guys. Stay positive. Stay uplifted in this quarantine. We all in the house together. So, just stay grounded in who you are. Like, let's stay grounded and let's make some change. Like, let's come out of this thing and really be ready to take on what life has to throw our way. So, love you guys, and thanks for listening. Give me your feedback. Give me your comments. Like, just tell me everything you got to say, because I'm interested, I'm open, I want to know. And y'all have a great rest of your day.